Hey, what's up everyone? It's Andres coming at you with another video. And in this one, I wanted to show you a few things in case you're trying to hold out to see how much more mileage you can get out of your BlackBerry 10 device. So I dove into my treasure trove of antiquated devices and dug up my Z30 and my Z10 or Z10 and Z30. But I decided, you know what? People are asking me a lot of questions, and I know that they're really hungry for the answers, and I was curious too. So I was actually quite surprised with what I found out. Before I get started on what I did get working on the device, I should let you know that yes, I do have WhatsApp on my Z30, but as you can see, I'm not logged in because I don't use WhatsApp. So, and there's no SIM card on this guy. But the point is, I was able to get it, and that was to up to down. And I'm disclosing that right now because I didn't go over this on the video I shot with the apps that I do use. So this is a video about what entertainment apps, and in some cases some communication apps, that you are able to enjoy on your BlackBerry, even after BlackBerry turns off the backend servers for their own apps. Well, here's what I found out. All right, so to my left is the BlackBerry Z30, and to the right is my favorite BlackBerry 10 device of them all, the Z10. It was my first one and my favorite white, and I never looked back. It's been my most trustworthy workhorse along with the Q10. Go figure. So I wanted to first show everybody that as of December 31st, 2019, you shouldn't be able to download anything from the BlackBerry app world. Yet, some way, somehow, I've still been able to recover some of my apps, and right now it's telling me that I actually have some updates. Why? Those things are dead. But, well, there they are. I power this thing up and it says, look, there's some updates. And let's see what happens. It's saying that it's downloading. Look at that. So I don't know what the deal is. This is supposed to be dead. BBM itself is dead, so I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's the enterprise version. We'll see. But anyway, the point is they are downloading. But what do we do about apps when BlackBerry finally turns things off? Because some of you have actually been expressing to me that you've been having issues synchronizing your emails to the hub themselves. And honestly, I have no answers for you there. It's just things in the back end are going to start dying out for BlackBerry. And as of this recording, there was some news that crackberry.com was reporting about certain wireless carriers. I believe they're in Europe and the Middle East are shutting down BlackBerry internet service. So you won't be able to get pushed anything basically. So just FYI, the end is nigh. BlackBerry 10 devices don't rely on BlackBerry internet service, but there are things in the back end that are necessary to keep these things running. So when it comes to apps, I've done a video that's actually held up pretty well, and that's regarding up to down. So I'll show you on the Z10 here. So up to down is something that you can use to get applications if you don't want to do the tedious workaround that is to get the Google Play Store working here, because it still works kind of. And what I love about the up to down, doesn't matter where you installed an application, it'll show you that there's updates. I'll explain the good and the bad about that in a moment. But as you can see, Google Play Store, that's because Cobalt's Play Store has required updates. But if you update or try, you're going to break what you've already established if you have it already. I don't have the Play Store on my Z30. So I've only relied on the built-in stuff such as BlackBerry World, which is not much there, and the Amazon App Store, which is pre-baked into basically any BlackBerry 10 device. And I do like what you're still able to get from the Amazon store, because as you can see for cloud, a lot of these applications used to be built by BlackBerry. They've actually been basically put out to pasture. So there was no way to get to some of these cloud storages that you can see on your device. Every now and then I can still access OneDrive, but then it just kicks me out for some reason. But one that I actually use a lot is still Dropbox. So this Dropbox app is actually from the Amazon App Store. And the reason I appreciate that is because there are services that Amazon has that keeps apps running. Like for those of you that want to use applications through the Google Play Store, and then you run into hiccups like, hey, I downloaded YouTube, but it won't work. Hey, I downloaded Google that, and it won't work. Hey, I downloaded Instagram, and it won't work. Because it keeps saying these Google Play services. That's why, folks, because it's not really a Google Play services type of app unless you try patching it. But even then, it's not a guaranteed work on your device. So Amazon App Store
is the Amazon App Services that keep apps that you download from here running. Both of these, the App Store from Amazon and the one from Up to Down, I really appreciate in that they try to feed you apps that work per the prescribed hardware that you have and the OS. The reason that's crucial is because not every app is going to work even if you do patch it, because it requires a minimum of, say, Android Lollipop 5.0 and above. These can only run at most Android 4.3. That's why I begrudgingly always complain that if we had KitKat Android 4.4, it would have opened the door to a lot more apps that are still being updated to this day. But a lot of the apps nowadays, like for example, PayPal and Pandora, they updated and they do not support any Android version below 5. So those are out the window. And I've tried to go to Pandora on the browser, and I actually have multiple browsers here. I have the browser from BlackBerry, Evolution browser, and even the Android browser that's actually built into the phone that you actually needed an extra step to try to make it appear because it's hidden. None of them can access Pandora online because Pandora doesn't support the browsers anymore. So you need something more up to date to be able to run it, which is why for Pandora, back to the Z10, I rely on Apollo, which is an app that I got a long time ago through a bar file. This was actually the Apollo app that was built for WebOS on the, I think it was called the HP touchpad. Yes, so it was the developer ported it over to BlackBerry 10, and it's been working ever since. It's just that I have not been able to get this thing to work across my other devices, so I haven't done any wipe whatsoever to this one because I want to keep using this. And the reason I'm not playing any music on it is because YouTube's going to strike me, so I'm not even going to bother with that. But okay, how would you listen to music streaming services though on these devices if we don't have any official supported stuff? Well, probably some of you already saw when I opened this, like, hey, Andres, what's that? It says Spotify Music open. Open? You mean it's already installed on your phone? It is installed. And this, my friends, is Spotify Lite. You heard me right. I said Spotify Lite. This one I got from the Up to Down store. And as you can see, I'm logged in. On the right, I will show you Spotify, the full-blown version of it. It's refreshing here. This is the full-blown version of Spotify that you can get from the Amazon App Store. If you haven't already explored the Amazon App Store, there it is. You can actually download Spotify from there. No workarounds whatsoever, so you can get Spotify working. But the reason I pulled up both of these because you can get the Spotify Lite version, which is supposed to be for devices that sip data because of their data plans and also for lesser hardware. But it still runs fine on a BlackBerry 10 device, so you get the full version. The reason I pulled these two up is because if you use Facebook to sign in to your Spotify, it's not going to work. It's like, okay, so how do you log in? Because Andres, it seems like you used Facebook to sign into Spotify. Yes, I did. And I just figured it out a few hours ago before I even decided to record that you have to go to Spotify on a computer, go to the browser. There's actually a part when you go to your profile where you can, it's called set up device password section. And if you select that, it's going to subscribe or issue you a user ID. And that user ID is like 30 characters long, so there's no way you're going to be able to memorize that, which is actually a pain. So what I did is just email it to myself so I can copy paste that over. So you'll get through email another email that can help you set up a password, and then after that you can sign in to Spotify with a prescribed username given to you by Spotify and then the password that you created, and you'll be able to get in just fine, which I'll show you over here. But the reason I showed you Spotify Lite here is because Spotify Lite lets you sign in with Facebook. And so I did. So I'm going to do a compare and contrast real quick here. Let me just close some of these apps. Oh, by the way, I do have Facebook Lite running here as well. So there are some Lite apps that you can get from Up to Down to make them work. I actually showed this before, but I guess I'll show again. I have Facebook Lite, Line Lite, which is like WhatsApp, but mostly famous in East Asia. Skype Lite, It says it requires Google Play services, but it runs just fine for me. And Facebook Messenger Lite. I do have all that. I have not been able to get Instagram Lite working, and I have not been able to get Twitter Lite working. I have, though, been able to get, like I just showed you, Spotify Lite. But let me see if I could open, I don't have it over there. It's media right there. This is the full-blown Spotify. So I have both apps, Spotify Lite and Spotify version, like the full-blown version. They're both should be signed in, so let's see what happens. Still waiting. I should do like a time lapse on these things because my goodness, while this thing's loading, because yeah, it's still loading, it took me 20 minutes to just update, not install, update Candy Crush Soda because I had an update pending on Amazon. It took absolutely forever. Oh, look at that. There's the Andre Segovia show on Spotify. I guess I should hit play. I know, I'm plugging myself in here, but hey, it's my show. Have you subscribed? By all means, subscribe because you can tune in there. Oh, did I say tune in? Yes, you can even use TuneIn, which is the BlackBerry 10 operating system native device, or you can just get through Amazon. You're able to get through Amazon. Wait, where it's not there. Media. My God, these things are so small when you're on the camera. Okay, TuneIn Radio. Where is the app? Oh, sorry, folks. It's over here. TuneIn Radio Pro, that you could get from Amazon as well. So screw you, Pandora. You didn't want to support BlackBerry 10. We got TuneIn and Spotify supporting this just fine. Now I'm just talking too much. And yes, the buttons do work. You can pause it. A little bit of lag there. Up and down for volume rockers. I don't know if you can skip. Let's try skipping. Hello. No, the volume just goes all the way up. So you can't skip per se unless you skip from here, I suppose. But it's a podcast, so it doesn't work like music and it's radio stuff. But there you go. You are able to enjoy Spotify because I have gotten asked about that. Like, Andres, can you get Spotify on it? Yes, you can, and you don't have to do any workarounds. It's in the Amazon App Store. I actually ran into that by accident. I typed in on the search bar music app because I'm looking for Pandora, and Spotify pulled up. Like, you know what? I'll pull it up. And see, I have TuneIn Pro through there. So there are apps that you can get through through Amazon that will work for your device, like video games and productivity apps and even collages and stuff. So yes, they do work with the exception of the now retired PayPal app. This will just try to open the browser, but the browser no longer supported, so PayPal does not support that app. It's still in the App Store for some reason, but yeah, I am able to use Splashtop, so I can access remotely to my other to my computers, which is pretty cool. Now let's see, do I have anything else to show you over here? Well, yeah, there's PayPal. See, I'll pull up PayPal here on my Z10 and let's see what it tells me. Website not available. Doesn't even bother opening anything else. It's just not going to get anywhere. You can't even use a browser for it. So you're kind of SOL with PayPal on any of these devices. But in terms of entertainment, you are still able to enjoy music on this for streaming. YouTube, you're sticking to the browser. So that's as much as I can show you there. But if you're one of those that wants to keep trying to use, say, Instagram Lite, or say even Twitter Lite, the reason I pulled up, this is up to down, the download section. I've already have some of the apps. This is the latest version of Instagram Lite. I have downloaded already, and you get a message like this. It'll say parse error. There was a problem parsing the package. Then when you hit OK, it'll say the installation has failed. Your device may not be compatible with the app, which is unfortunate because I know it is, but it just won't open. Same thing with some Google Go apps, like the light version of things. I wanted to install the Google Assistant Go, which is the light version of the full-blown app. Same error. It says not compatible with your device. I would have loved to be able to use it here, but I can't. It's not there. It won't work. So there you go. And you are able to access the file explorer from here, so you can get access to these APKs and just delete them off your phone, because otherwise you downloaded them, but they'll still be taking up space. That's the unfortunate thing about that, but at least up to down gives you that option to be able to roll back, because if you have some apps that don't work after you update them, you can roll them back. this phone, as I mentioned before, I do have the Play Store on it, and it's the only phone that I have the Play Store on, and I'll leave it at that. But the problem is that now I can't even look for apps because they'll just the Play Store will crash, and if I try to update any of the apps I already have on this, it won't work because for whatever reason. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll show you my apps. Come on. See, it's just behaving super slow. There we go. No, see, it won't even show you my app list for some reason. It's connected, but it's not even showing me my current apps, my app library. It's not even pulling up my app library for some reason. But it'll tell me, hey, you got some app updates. But when you try updating them, they'll either break functionality or they just won't install at all. So yeah, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place there. So there are still some workarounds that you can use. I know Android is not the solution for a lot of you. That's the reason you chose BlackBerry 10 in the first place. But let's just be straight up here. BlackBerry is not going to be supported that much longer with the backend servers. So the only way for you to still be able to use apps that are not BlackBerry server dependent is the workaround that is available through Android devices themselves. Otherwise, you got a phone dialer and text messaging. Anyone out there trying link services, it did work for me before the end of the year. I was texting from my computer through these phones that connected them through the bridge and stuff. Do I have the little notification? Yeah, BlackBerry Blend. Sorry, BlackBerry Blend and Link. I think they both go together. So I was able to do that, and that was that. But anyway, the times are coming where they won't work that much anymore, and we'll see how much longer these phones work. By the way, because I was able to do it, I refuse to update these apps. I don't know if they still work, but I have Pandora here, Prime Video, and also Netflix, and they did work. So let me see if I could pop open one of these. Let's see if Pandora opens. Pandora crashed. You know what? I'll just in case it might be using resources, I'm going to close a lot of these applications here. Come on. Okay, I am done with you. So let's get you out of the way. Let's just highlight my favorite BlackBerry 10 device. Yeah, see, Pandora's not even opening anymore for some reason, and I didn't even update that. So forget you. Let's see if Netflix works. Netflix is pretty strict about these things, so I don't know if it still works. I wish I could share with you the APK if this does work, but I don't even know how to do that. It's giving me a sign-in option. If it gets there, I'll pause the video and try signing in to this. And while this thing's trying to load, I'll also try to see if I can access Prime Video unless it timed out on me and it deauthorized my device. You know what? I'm going to try pulling these up, but this takes a while. Let me pause the video real quick. Okay, so Prime Video crashed on me, but it's allowing me access to Netflix, even though this is a considerably older app than the one that's officially out there. I don't think I'll be able to show you anything. Netflix requires Google Play services, not supported by your device, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what's going on here. Let me lower the volume all the way down, just so I don't get flagged for it. But there's Kingdom, which I recommend if you haven't seen that. It's pretty awesome. And it even gives me the command, the cast function here, but I don't think it actually works. I've never had it work, but it does show me everything, which is pretty cool. Anyway, let's give this a shot. Let's see if Attack on Titan might load. Remember, I had to put this thing on silent as much as I can, just so I don't get in trouble. And if you haven't seen Attack on Titan, why haven't you? There you go. It works. So yeah, at least there's some things you can do. It just require a heck of a lot of patience. And if you're able to find a patched app that you might be able to sideload onto this, you can get it to work. But like it says, it needs Google Play services. I am using Cobalt's version of it, and I think that's enough for now. But each of you will get mileage of your own. I can't even get this one work anymore. This one's a BlackBerry app. Gold Music is for Google Play Music. Doesn't work anymore. Prime Video does, and as you saw, Pandora wouldn't load. Some of these apps are BlackBerry 10 built. This is Podcast. That one does work, which is pretty cool. It's a BlackBerry 10. What was the name of this style of format? I forget. Cascades, was it? Oh, I don't remember. But yeah, this was pretty cool because it did work. And it works a little slower than before, but for the most part, it still works and it's still getting updated because it reads off the URL feed. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to show you real quick about that. Yes, and you did see Google a voice right there working for me. This is the original Google Voice from way back when. That's the only one that will work. Any version that's 1.0 or above will not work on this, and I got that from Up to Down. I wish you all the best in trying to get the most out of whatever remains of your BlackBerry 10 devices. I try to answer as many questions as I gotten regarding this, so I hope what I showed you is enough for some of these things. Again, PayPal didn't work. Chase might work, but they're very strict on security, so every now and then they'll update the banking app where the old ones just won't work anymore. So just I'll see if this one opens, and that's the last one I'll try to show you guys. It looks like it's giving me the option to try to log in, so that's pretty cool. I'm happy about that. That's a very old app as well. Yeah, as you could see, I still hold on to my beautiful Blackberries here. These were all on Verizon, so that's the only way I was able to use them, which is why the Passport didn't stay with me long enough, because otherwise it would have been just a big paperweight that I can't access anymore. But this is my first BlackBerry 10 device, and my goodness, it still looks beautiful after all this time. Just a pity it didn't have a battery that lasts as long as this one. Yeah, but anyway, that's it, guys. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, stay in the know, check out my stuff, follow my show on every single podcast directory you can think of so you can stay in the know, especially about real estate, because that's what I do. Okay, that's it, and I'll see you on the next one.